All right, so the Sharks lost their 7th game in a row tonight. This time it was to the Anaheim Ducks, the rivals, and it was actually the first time this year we've played them, and it was in a shootout. And we really should have won this game. I mean, we were up 2-1 after the first period, but Anaheim came fighting back. They're a pretty solid team, and in the shootout, the Sharks didn't even score a goal in the shootout. And it was in the shootout, it was 2-0 Anaheim when it was all said and done. So yeah, final score came to 4-3 Anaheim Ducks. It was Ryan Zingel's Sharks debut, and he actually did pretty good. He drew a late penalty that created chances for the Sharks, but they couldn't capitalize at the end. Brent Burns had a really good game for the Sharks. He scored his 5th goal of the season. He had 2 assists on the 2 other goals, so he was part of every goal. So yeah, 3 points for him. And Logan Couture was also really good. He scored the other 2 goals. And also Timo Meier assisted on both the other goals as well. So that was really good to see. Couture was great tonight and winning faceoffs and whatnot. Matt Nieto also assisted one of the goals, which was good to see. James Reimer was okay. I really blame the Sharks defense for allowing those goals in the second period. Second period was egregious for the Sharks. In the third period, it was 0-0. Good defense for the Ducks, and the Sharks couldn't capitalize on multiple power plays either. For the Ducks, they had 2 goals from Rickard Rakell. They also had a goal from Derek Grant, and they had Stolarz in net, and he was pretty good. He was 40 of 43 on saves with a .930 save percentage. The Sharks, of course, had Reimer in net. He's probably going to be in net for every game for the foreseeable future because, of course, Aiden Hill's on injury reserve. And for what he did, he was okay. But the Sharks outshot the Ducks, and they still lost. And these were important points here. And the Sharks do get a point after this one because it was technically, a loss in extra time. It was a shootout loss. And the Sharks after this one surprisingly still remain 500. They have 50 points through 50 games now. And they fall to 22, 22, and 6. But they haven't won a game in a month. We can't be satisfied with the way they're playing. They're going to play the Islanders next game. The Islanders aren't very good, but neither are the Sharks. So I can't really talk about that too much on that level, but yeah, 4-3 in a shootout. It was tough because the Sharks should have won this. They were looking solid. Brent Burns was really playing good, and unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize at the end. The third period was almost hard to watch. A lot of shots they were shooting them wide. They were shooting them too high. After this one, the Sharks still remain 7th in the division. They're not even really close to anywhere near the playoffs. I know it's even generous talking about the playoffs and Sharks in the same sentence, but I know it's just unfortunate that we're not winning, especially considering that on offense we're not doing terribly. The first period offensively was pretty good. Even the second period, Brent Burns and Couture really showing their hard work and toughness in this, but they just couldn't capitalize. It was really tough. For the Sharks, also another thing I wanted to point out was Timo Meier, despite not having any goals, he had 2 assists, and he also had 9 shots on goal. So he was pretty amazing when contributing in that account. Barabanov also was as well. It was just they couldn't get the shots to sink. The Ducks defense was pretty much all over them. Zegras was playing pretty good in that account. And Stolarz was good in net. He was making some pretty tough saves. Reimer, I'm not going to blame him 100% for the shootout because we wouldn't have even gotten to the shootout had the Sharks played better in the second period and even the third period. But, that was a tough shootout. Zegras scored the first goal, I believe, and then they had another goal as well. And the Sharks couldn't score in the shootout as well, and they were the away team, so they were already at a disadvantage. But, that's going to do it. We have the Islanders next, 4-3 final. The Ducks win over the Sharks, and we're going to have to move on. So, 7 losses in a row. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, go Sharks.